Beautiful souls, welcome. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. It is such an honor to be here with you. Welcome to Self-Love Sundays.
Your crown chakra.
All right, there we are. Now we are running. Yay! Okay, so how's everybody's week been doing for you? How have you guys been doing? We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of work that you and I are going to be embarking on in this next chapter of consciousness and evolution and awakening. We have a lot of beautiful work to do, and I'm very happy to invite you to join me on this journey. This coming year, we are going to get a little more serious about the kind of work that we're doing, because we want to learn how to integrate deeply. And my goal is to show you how to integrate spiritual practices into your everyday life as a practical embodiment. And that's what we're going to focus on. So today I want to talk about a couple topics. I had some interesting questions, but we're going to talk about the multidimensionality of our body. And primarily, we're going to talk about how to maintain energy frequency in the body without draining frequency from the body, okay, without draining the life force from the body. We're going to talk about energetic hygiene, and we're going to talk about some tools. And I had some questions about GPAC, and GPAC is actually, it's a tool that I created. It's a multidimensional body training tool that I want to share with you guys. If those of you, I've also had a lot of questions about my recent class on what is going to be happening in the next 3 years. It's a big topic, and the topic that I shared on the live stream is available for replay. If you guys want to access that, even if you didn't sign up for the original event, you can sign up for the replay for it. I have it available for you. And you can also submit questions at any time if you have additional questions to that, because it's a heavy topic. And we're going to be kind of talking about that incrementally through the year, because there are different stages of this information that are going to be evolving for us. The important thing is that we focus on our evolution and the tools that are available to us now, and implementing those tools into our practice as humans. So let's go deep into GPAC. I had a question about what is GPAC, and GPAC is grounding, protecting, aligning, co-creating. Okay, and the purpose of GPAC is essentially, it's a very simple tool that allows you to embody complex, advanced energy techniques, energy cultivation techniques. Okay, so I talked a lot about this in the past years, but I think we kind of lost track of the connection of what it really is. So I'm going to do an overview on that. And I also teach a class on GPAC for those of you that are interested in that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I want to welcome everybody that's here. Let me go ahead and open the chat so that I can see who I'm talking to. And if you guys have questions, as you know, please put your questions in capital letters in the chat so that I can see them, okay? Let me, for just one moment, I forgot to share the stream. If you guys are live with me on YouTube, please do feel free to share. Okay. All right. A very warm welcome to everybody. Brian, Jay Zen, Sophie, Stephen, Zay, Logan, James, welcome. Blanca, love, love, love. Just Michael, welcome. Javier, Julie, Sal, Joe, Veronica, so great to see you guys. Sharon, Liza, Malou, and Greg, Brian B, and Nicholas. So great to see you guys. All right, so let's jump into these questions, and let's jump into what is GPAC. I'm going to share my screen because I have a lot that I want to share with you today. Okay. So GPAC is a modality that I created for energy cultivation. It's a very simple tool, a very simple acronym that helps us encompass the entire system of our multidimensional body. What do I mean by that? Essentially, hold on, I lost my my screen here. Where is my screen? No, I don't know where it is, just disappeared. Okay, I guess I don't have it. Okay, all right, let's go up there. Let's go up to this. Okay, here we go. All right, guys. Okay, so let's take a look for a moment at the multidimensional body, guys. A very important tool that I would love to share with you this week for practice is present moment cultivation. The present moment is more than just a concept. It's more than just the practice of being present and bringing your awareness here. When you are in the present moment, when you are embodied in the present moment, your entire architecture of your body shifts. Okay, the entire energy structure of your body changes. And this is something that's very interesting, but we have not been told that our biology, our multidimensionality is bioelectrical, but we are mostly non-physical. The non-physical structure of our body, making up almost 80% of our system, is actually where most of the information, most of our life force is being processed. When we are disconnected from the higher self, when we're disconnected from our higher aspect, this communication system severs. And what happens with the severing of that communication is that source, life force cannot come into the body. Okay, there's a block. And I talked about this many times. But essentially, your multidimensional body does not allow the frequency of life force to enter into the body. Okay, so what happens? Remember that you are an energetic, you are a holographic projection of life force. So anytime that this incredible life force cultivation is about to enter into the body, and our frequency of this physical body is too dense, too heavy, too solidified. What does that mean? Vibrations, as a vibrational frequency, the way that atoms are oscillating, the slower they become, the heavier, and eventually the information that you are storing in that heavy oscillation becomes crystallized in your field. Crystallized. There's different levels of crystallization. And the crystallization that occurs in the body when we repeat a stagnant emotion over and over again is that it becomes blocked in the body and it becomes trapped. Slow moving frequency waves create different geometric patterns because in order to hold these slow moving frequency waves like deep emotions of sorrow, depression, helplessness, hopelessness, anger, these kinds of emotions essentially become so heavy and so slow that they begin to move sluggish movement in the body. Okay, so what happens is that your bioelectrical system, which is a conduit of life force and should be constantly regenerating, constantly moving, it cannot move. It's very slow. And when your physical body, which is already such a dense matter, it's a dense matter, which means that all your particles are oscillating at a very slow rate, different vibrational frequency. The holographic matter basically does not allow this infinite life force to move in, this infinite potential. Source is not only a state of mind, but essentially it's a life force that brings matter into life, into a state of multidimensional awareness. It is a holographic system of projection, and it is a manifestation engine into the creation of the matrix. So when our physical body becomes disconnected from that source of energy, the body cannot move this energy through it, okay? So what we have to do is we have to open the pathways and change the vibrational frequency of the body. This is Energy Hygiene 101. Those of you that have parasites, you believe you have parasites, you have attachments, you have blockages in your life, you have inabilities to succeed or to progress in your life, you have fear, a lot of fear-based programs, anxieties, blockages. All of these are what we are holding in the body emotionally, and it also speaks to how we are moving our life force. So there's different ways of moving your life force. Exercise, the amount of water that you're drinking, healthy foods that are alkaline, that are conduits promoting for the body, okay? The alkalinization of your body is helping move life force through the body, okay? And also the amount of nourishment that you are receiving through this alkaline diet, essentially, is helping bring life force into the body. Just like plants go through photosynthesis, you and I are bioelectrical systems that enhancing the conductivity of your organism allows you to travel light or travel interdimensionally in a more fluid, smooth manner, okay? You are constantly moving in and out of many dimensions, but because our vision becomes blocked and it becomes myopic, we lose sight of our entire multidimensionality. We are unaware of what's happening around our body. We're unaware of our subconscious emotions. We're unaware of our intentions, and this kind of mixed and dismatch with mind, body, and soul, the three dantians of the body, the energy centers cultivation of the body, we sever the communication link between this infinite potential that is able to come into the body. So essentially, this is what causes illnesses. If you guys want to know what causes illnesses, this causes illnesses. This causes confusion, depression, very heavy psychological, emotional states for this physical body. So essentially, we want to open these paths, and that's what we do in the 0-point meditation of running life force through the body, running earth life force. Earth, the frequency of earth is oscillating at the hertz of the planet. And let me just open that for a moment. Okay, so let's see. So just for a quick understanding, when these two, okay, so your body is a vortex essentially, okay? So when our body is blocking life force, because this opening of energy of life force, okay, so your entire body is self-organizing life force, and every part of your body is also moving energy through that spiral path, because the design of this universe is in spiral. Okay, so that's the form, the shape, the pathway of life force that this universe has chosen to take. And when we block that pathway, whether it's through the entire energetic body, through one part of the body, compartmentalized part of the body, the entire system comes out of balance, because everything has to be fluidly moving, okay? Remember that your heart is also a vortex. The entire system of the heart, the entire heart mass itself is actually a spiral, okay? It's a vortex. It unfolds out into this long muscular system, and when it coils in, it's actually a vortex. So when blood is being infused into the body, it follows the pathway of vortex. So we need to understand, and you can learn more about this by learning Schauberger's information, Victor Schauberger, who talked about vortex energy, vortex life force, and pathways of life force. But there is a natural order to the systems of energy in this universe, and the way that the heart coils energy is essentially that function. We have it encoded in our body. That's how beautiful these bodies are. So as you can imagine, anytime that we start to block the pathway of that coil movement, of that vortex movement, either through the heart. And the heart is really important, which is why I talked earlier this week about bringing peace and joy into each of the organs. Your intention, because you are mostly made out of water, is going to is going to be memorized into the molecules of your body. And we have to intentionally have that connection. If we sever the communication between this intuitive mind and the physical body, the body begins to become abandoned. It becomes disconnected, forgotten. And that essentially goes into the subconscious mind, and we begin to act out of these subconscious programs, these subconscious belief systems that begin to take over our entire system, energetically, in the muscular system, in the nervous system. We are repeating patterns that we have been repeating since childhood. Okay, so again, breaking ancestral programs is the restructuring of the architecture of your bioelectrical system, because ancestral programs are encoded right now epigenetically. We pull from our DNA, from the memory of our bodies, of our organism, in order to play out these belief systems. And those are deeply encoded in the subconscious mind, which is why meditation is absolutely essential in order to get into those memory systems and expand the memory of those parts of ourselves that have been blocked, that are continuously blocking. In the same way that our heart is a coiling system, a vortex of life force, so are the patterns of our memories. Our memories are repeating and repeating and repeating. This is the samsara, this is the matrix, this is the karmic cycle. We fall into hypnotic states of repetition. To wake up, we don't follow this state of repetition. We allow life force to move through the vortex instead of stagnantly repeating and cycling. Remember that the difference between a heart and a body that is in coherence is that it is using conductivity to constantly regenerate the system. Okay, so when the human body goes out of alignment from this ability to open pathways. Alignment really means opening pathways. We need to open pathways of life force into the body. You are innately energy. You are innately this infinite life force. The only thing blocking it is the temporary belief systems that create a disconnect, vibrational frequency of your infinite potential in order to enter into the body. So as they say, you have to get out of your way is really energetically a very accurate depiction of what is actually happening. So let's talk about the tools. Now that we understand this physical vortex body, essentially GPAC is addressing every aspect of your multidimensionality, because we want to focus on cultivating life force in a way that we are coherent and that we are accessing free will. Okay, all of these tools that I'm teaching you are in order to train our ability to embody free will. If we do not access our free will, again, we are cycling in cycles of imbalanced repetition, unconscious repetition. So it's very important that we wake up consciousness in order to employ this free will and begin to choose from that place. When we fall into dormant states, all kinds of things happen in our world that are against our will, that are against our core values and core morals. Okay, we have certain ethical codes as being a conscious citizen of this universe, of this multiverse. We abide by certain ethical codes, and those ethical codes are in parallel, in alignment with the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe being free will, the laws of the universe being the laws of resonance, the law of pure creation, manifestation, the law that we are regenerative self-healing organisms. Okay, so we are very sovereign self-healing organisms, and as soon as we fall asleep, we forget those laws and we fall out of alignment. So really quickly, I want to talk, and I think I talked about this other times, but it's important that we kind of do a recap of this, because we forget what are the core values that we are here to embody. Let's talk really quickly about what are morals. Morals are ethics that the human race has found to be necessary for survival among each other. A survival action or move that enhances working and living with each other. Integrity is the conscious action of living your own personal ethics and morals. Your integrity to yourself is the most important than anything else and is determined by the thing that you do every day in your own privacy determines where you are at today and where you are going or why you have failed. What are we talking about? We're talking about creation, creator states, levels of creation. Okay? When we are embodied in the moment, in the present moment, our entire consciousness, our entire state of being, our entire purpose in life is to follow the God of certain aspects of ourselves that maintain us in states of survival and separation. This is exactly what we're going to be following. And it's also the reason for quote unquote failure. Okay, so failure, when I talk about failure, I'm talking about the self-betrayal. Anytime that we betray ourselves, in a sense, we are going against nature, against the natural laws, against our intuition, and against your own truth, as we mentioned earlier. So we really want to question for a moment, where is our perspective right now? What do we value most? Who is our God? Is our God no God? Do we have no God and we believe in just the materialism of things, which has its value, has its importance, but when we contain that mindset and that consciousness, we fall in complete separation. That's the natural law of worshiping matter only, because that is only and can only ever be half of the truth, because we are multidimensional beings as a law of our existence. So anytime that we worship things, matter outside of our physicality, we become survivals. That is the natural side effect of worshiping objects and things. Okay, so is our God protection? Are we in a constant state of fear? Embody the victim role? Are we constantly judging everything around us and ourselves? Are we constant state of possession, competition? Okay, so that will make our God protection. So everything in our life is like, I need to be protected. This thing is abusing me. This thing is affecting me. This thing is hurting me. This external thing has all the power over my free will. I cannot choose. I cannot change. I cannot heal. Those are the words that one that speaks in a state of total protection is existing in. And we always think about something external that is going to damage us because we have made our God this concept of victimization and protection. This is a very powerful state of existence, and a lot of us live in this existence, even within spiritual community. It's very, very intricate, this mentality, because we can experience many incredible things as we wake up. And if we fall asleep again, we become victimized from that other thing because we haven't learned how to integrate and process and transcend the experience of whatever it is that we're seeing. Okay, so we have to try to keep our bird's eye view as much as possible when we are seeing ourselves and our experiences around us to understand a broader truth, which is in alignment with these natural laws. Okay, if your God is power, everything is about comparison. It's about logic. It's about rules. And this is control. Control is also your God. It's all about what you can control, what you can't control, and feelings of helplessness. And you're going to notice that every single one of these master archetypes are also aligned with the chakra bodies, the development of your chakra bodies. Okay, so each one of these, root, sacral, solar chakra, so on and so forth, these chakras are basically the ones that are most overactive when these are our gods and our filter of perception. So everything is about action. Everything is about doing. Okay, so we need to do something because we feel that action is going to be a way to control the things that happen to us or the things that are happening outside of us. But that is an illusion. We can have all kinds of action all our life, and this is the imbalanced masculine, right? The imbalanced masculine, and this can be seen in women and men, doesn't matter the sex. This vibrational frequency of the imbalanced masculine is all about this kind of unintentional action. What does that mean? Your action has no intent and it has no alignment and coherence with your core values and morals and the higher laws. Okay? So when your actions are just whatever, people have this idea that go with the flow, that concept of go with the flow means we just act and it doesn't really matter what happens. No. Going with the flow means opening the pathways of life force to your body by entering a 0 point. A 0 point allows you to come into a neutral, non-judgmental observer that acts with intention. Intention is the bioelectrical charge that brings into matter creation. Now, emotions have intentions. And unfortunately, because we're so disconnected with what's happening in our subconscious mind, a lot of the times our emotions are completely convoluted with many, many subconscious emotions that we don't understand what drives it. That's why DNA reprogramming is so important. Getting down to the core of the root of the emotion that you're feeling in order to understand your subconscious process, your subconscious belief systems, and what's running your show, what's running your life, what's running and directing and manifesting experiences, people, things, so on and so forth. So we are learning how to move up the scale of creation from the concept of a God or an external power. You are integrating into unity consciousness, into becoming a godlike state of pure creation. Okay? So that is what we do with these levels of creator. So I want you to think and take a look. Where are you at on this scale? What processes are you primarily looking at? So your integrity to yourself is the most important thing than anything else, again, and is determined by the thing that you do every day in your own privacy, which determines where you are at today and where you are going, why you have failed, again. Okay? Your obsessions, that thing that you do each day, have determined where you are today. So what are your obsessions? Right? What are the things that you keep repeating? And this is very linked to subconscious programming, your survival mechanisms. Your obsessions are absolutely linked with your survival mechanisms. What you believe is going to keep you in survival, and all of the behaviors that we have around that survival. Knowledge is not wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge to your life, or the application of ethics to your survival. It's a completely different thing. When your survival now is following an ethical law, your ethical law, what's truly things that you value, and that your actions are aligned with that, you take responsibility for the things that you do, and it changes the perception of how you are doing. If you can see where you have failed, you can see where you lost focus, right? This DNA reprogramming, right? You begin to review yourself, taking a look at where did you forget yourself this week? Where did you allow yourself to fall into the monotony of repeating subconscious programmings that are hindering your advancement, hindering your evolution, hindering your peace, hindering your harmony? 0 point, being in a state of flow, is choosing peace and harmony over survival. And what I would love to impart on you this year, and what we are going to learn this year, is that our survival, our true survival, for those of us that want to survive, lies in your embodiment of the 0 point. Because it is pure creation, it's pure choosing and directing your timelines of experience. So that which angers you or you fear the most determines the focus of your life. So again, these repetitive patterns are completely rooted in the things that we fear and that we are angering us, because anger in the solar plexus is one of the most powerful emotions that controls your solar plexus, your center of empowerment. A person that lives in anger, that is constantly angry all the time, that it feels hopeless, helpless, is completely disempowered from the ability to manifest and co-create. This is really important. I want you to notice how much of your life is rooted in anger, in fear of things. And you might initially say, no, I'm not afraid of anything, or no, nothing makes me angry. But anger is very, very deep in our subconscious belief systems. And so to look at those and to understand deeply where you're at is incredibly powerful. Your freedom lies in the alchemization of your fears and your anger. Enemies are valuable because they make you move and reconsider your present survival. Okay? So enemies, we're going to use the word enemies in the context of people that have challenged or deeply trigger over and over again your trigger points, the points of feeling helpless, hopeless, those that cause us suffering, those that have caused us the most pain. In reality, they are angels that help wake you up from a state of survival. Because every time that we fall asleep and our God becomes survival, our God becomes fear, our God becomes control, our God becomes power, our God becomes material matter, we begin to fall into cycles where we come into resonance with those people that are also resonating in those survival cycles. So, of course, our experiences are going to be shared with one another at that level. And this last year has been very instrumental in helping us understand our subconscious, our deep subconscious agreements that we have with ourselves still, that we have not addressed, that we have not looked at, that we have not been aware of, to help us elevate to the next level of ascension, which means to see yourself as all that you are, all your shadow, all your light. And hopefully this year you were able to see your shadow as clear as possible and get to know exactly where you're at. Destiny. A lot of people ask me, what is destiny? Should I follow my destiny? Is destiny good? Is destiny bad? Destiny is living unconsciously, encountering the things that you've already created as a spirit. Déjà vu. Okay, so destiny means that every time we believe in this destiny, we are repeating very ancient karmic belief systems. And the invitation to humanity now is to build a new way of existing outside of the old programming that we have been programmed for centuries. How do we transcend these limiting belief systems, these very massive collective systems of pain, suffering, helplessness? These are programs that need to be addressed. So we want to take a look at that and begin to change. Let's talk about what is karma. Karma is a universal law of being willing to experience what you create. What you create. If the universe is hitting you hard, or if all of the doors are slamming on you, you need to stop and look at your personal ethics. You need to stop and see if you have decided to be unconscious. How many of you have been unconscious this week? Raise your hand. If you are just acting without being conscious of your ethics, then you have chosen to be at effect of the physical universe. Okay? So, cause and effect, that is what karma means. If you are existing at effect, everything outside of you, the physical universe is affecting you. If you are not applying your ethics, you are moving on a downward spiral. What is that? Centrifugal. Centrifugal. It's the centrifugal movement of our life force. It is where we have completely depleted. We are depleting our life force. Hold on, let me find that slide for a moment. This is where we are depleting our life force out of our body, and all of our life force, our energy, our creative ability is releasing our body from our body. Okay? So this is really important to understand when we talk about these karmic cycles. More doors will close and the universe will hit you harder and harder until you stop and see what's going on and change it. And this is the thing that we need to understand. We are repeating cycles. Where can we learn best? Where we have repeated these very painful cycles of pain and suffering to wake you up again. It's the law of accident. So remember that you are repeating everything your ancestors have repeated until you wake up consciousness. So if you want a reference point as to what happens if you continue down the same path you're going through now, that perhaps is not resulting in the results of experience that you wish to have, begin to observe your ancestors. What were their limitations? What were their downfall? What were their strengths? What powers, internal powers and internal will and truths did they avoid or they suppress within themselves? Okay? The more we begin to become conscious of these cycles, the more we open up to our potential, which our human race has barely seen, with examples in films that have been turned into cartoons, into sci-fi fantasies, all of the superpowers that the human actually has within them. The human is an incredibly powerful organism of co-creation, and you can affect matter once you transcend your attachment and limiting cycling belief and make matter your God. You can begin to transcend this limiting experience inside of your physical body. You have created this universal law. If you can't keep your own personal ethics, then your environment will slap you across the face to get your ethics together. So let me remind you once again, you as a being of consciousness, of free will, you have chosen to embody and experience this life temporarily. And the language of the universe is frequency. The movement of the universe is ascension. You cannot avoid ascension. Ascension is part of this entire mathematical structure of evolution. It is the laws of matter, of physical and non-physical, to continue moving in an ascending form. That being said, it is for the improvement of the vibrational frequency of the collective and this intelligent, non-physical essence of infinite potential uses infinite potential experiences in order to reach that. And there is no ultimate goal. It is the sustainability of a harmony that exists in this multiverse. Harmony is the ability to experience dualistic energies in order to see the whole, to become whole. The universe, the multiverse is becoming whole, and you are a fractal of that universe. Your life is in order to become whole. This is every human on this planet Earth that have incarnated on this planet Earth is becoming whole. And you are becoming whole multidimensionally. That's how amazing your human experience is. In other dimensional timelines, other species, they become whole in different ways. They have different laws, different purposes, different agendas for their experiences. We on planet Earth, we are multidimensional. The ability to access multidimensionality, the awareness of the multidimensionality is what allows you to master your matter. So you can look at the matrix as something that is a prison or, something that is enslaving, but in reality, we are becoming whole. We are becoming whole through these experiences. So essentially, what we are experiencing here is what you have created. And the invitation is that you learn how to embody and take charge and control of your creation in a way that is in alignment with much higher laws. Okay? So therefore, control isn't about grabbing, holding, controlling necessarily, but we are talking about harmonizing. Harmonizing is the appropriate word. You are harmonizing with greater laws of creation. So you have to be willing to experience whatever you create. If you slap someone, you have to be willing to be slapped. If you throw energy at someone, you have to be willing to have energy thrown back at you. The more ethical and aware you are, the faster you will experience the effects of that universal law. Because you are a stronger person moving on an upward spiral, centripetal. That law is there to remind you that you have made a mistake in the application of your ethics or integrity. So when we talk about integrity, integrity is one of the most important things to understand, because essentially to be integrous with your core values once you wake up consciousness. Now, your core values are going to change in life many times as you expand your perception. Okay, the way you perceive them, the way you apply these core values are going to change. Your core values, and you might not even know core values until you wake up consciousness. Okay, so as you begin to heal yourself, you begin to value love, peace, harmony, truth. Okay, you become to value these core things that always bring the human into harmony and balance. So when we talk about GPAC, and I also want to mention that every single one of you humans is actually embodying contractual agreements. So karma is also contractual agreements. Every single human that we are interacting with, we have a contractual agreement. You incarnate into your family lineage because you have contractual agreements. Contractual agreements is basically, in the language of energy, it's resonance. It's frequency. Your energy creates the agreement. Your frequency creates the agreement. So if you are holding a certain frequency of fear and anxiety and doubt and anger, that is the kind of person that you are going to be interacting with, because that's the resonance. That's the resonance. That's how much of a creator you are. So the more that we can begin to work and realize that protection is more to do with our ability to manage our emotions and actively work. Oh, sorry, let me put this here so you guys can read this also. Okay. We live in a world of cause and effect. Everything is constantly evolving and experiencing just as we are. And for that reason, feeling protected can sometimes feel like something difficult. We were programmed to believe that protection comes from someone or something outside of ourselves. And when these other things say our beliefs, family, friends, or society let us down, we often find ourselves feeling disconnected and lost. This is an illusion, okay? And here's why. For that reason, we soon will realize that protection has more to do with our ability to manage our emotions and actively work with our perception, intuition, and free will choice, rather than depending on external circumstances and people to provide this for us. The integration of both our masculine and feminine provide us with an infallible inner balance that can guide us through any challenging circumstances. Our experience and reality is a direct result of our beliefs and perceptions. That has been studied and proven in many areas of reality, including our understanding of health and our body, as we are not married to our genetic inheritance. And our lifestyle and emotional well-being affects our physical body more than any other external factor. In fact, even in life-threatening situations, our mind has the ability, through a non-visible intelligence, to select what is best for us and the collective, in order to hear and navigate, to guide and navigate these clearly, as it is important that we maintain a clean mind and body. As the body functions as an antenna, absorbing 360 degrees around us, we are constantly absorbing this data. Protections are about total body awareness. What are we allowing to enter into our space, and what are we choosing not to allow to affect our space, our emotions, our mind, our intentions? This is a powerful owning of your space. It is not only a life-changing technique, but the key to longevity, vitality, and health. Learning to navigate your everyday life by visualizing your auric field or bubble around your body allows you to choose every moment of your day as you glance down at the point of grounding in your body. Okay, so let's take a look at this. What is grounding? Here's what is grounding, the G in GPAC. We're going to imagine the center of the earth, and we're going to connect down to the center of the earth. And this cord of connection is going to be made out of something completely impenetrable. I want you to practice visualizing this connection to the earth. It's not just connecting from your feet. It's not just an energy that you connect from the root chakra. I want you to imagine a bodysuit made out of this connection that connects your shoulders, your chest, your waist, your hips, your pelvic bone, your entire center body. And you're going to visualize an energy connection that goes all the way down to the center of the earth and anchors into the center of the earth. This is energetic grounding. You can go out in nature and you can put your bare feet on the earth, and you're going to have the same results as this technique. Okay, so grounding will balance the positive and negative charges in your body, which is extremely important for you to maintain health in your body. That's scientifically proven. It's clinically proven. We can also create that in our physical body by using energy work, because we cannot be in nature all the time. In our modern day, we are, in our buildings, in our homes, we are in our cars, we are running errands, and we don't always have the ability to have that connection. However, that life force is everything around you. So we need to wake up and be aware of how immensely supported we are by the nature of this existence. When you connect down to the center of the earth, you automatically come into alpha state. What is alpha state? It's the state of relieving stress, state of awareness. We are also connecting to the natural healing rhythms of the earth, okay? Remember that your physical body is aligning with a timeline of healing. Every single organ is operating, depending on you're in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. These times will be different for you based on this map here, okay? So as you can see, every single one of the organs are regenerating at a certain time of day, which is in alignment with planetary movements, solar movements, movements of the earth. Does cosmic movements affect the physical body? Yes. Does the sun affect the physical body? Yes. The more unconscious you are, the stronger those effects are going to be. Why? Because when there's massive solar flares that begin to work on the bioelectrical system of the body, it affects how life force is moving through your physical body. So we begin to work on moving this life force through. The more clear, clean, healthy, vibrant you maintain your organs, which means how are the organs maintained in health? Through the emotions, again. Because your organs are processing emotions, and they are responding to the chemical imbalance or balance, the hormonal balance or imbalance as well of your physical body. So we want to maintain this balance, this harmonious state, and that's why we sleep at a certain time from 10 to 2 a.m. being the most potent times to regenerate the body and to gain life force into the body, okay? So we are aligning with those natural rhythms. So you're expect to have better sleep at the end of your day when you are grounding throughout your entire day energetically. Expect to wake up with energy in the morning. Expect to have less pain in your body when you ground. Expect to have your digestive system working harmoniously. Expect to not be affected by parasitic aspects of yourself, whether it's parasites in the biome or, energetic parasites, emotional parasites, because you have to energetically recharge your body, and you can expand your life force by aligning yourself with nature in this manner. So as you ground down to the center of the earth, you allow your body the opportunity to be constantly in communication with nature, regenerating, re-energizing the body. And most importantly, is that it helps you make choices out of fear, anxiety, or worry, okay? Because you are in the present moment. When you are not grounded to the center of the earth, to these cycles of the earth, we fall out of alignment. And we are living in the past, and those subconscious belief systems of the past are feeding into fears that are not existing in the present moment. They are fears based on the past and the future. Okay? So here's where we want to begin to shift out of this state of survival, lower states of consciousness, into more co-creative states. The present moment allows you to access the only and most important access point of co-creation. Now, this is grounding, the G of the GPAC. All of this incredible awareness of your multidimensional body brings the remembering of what you really are. You are a non-physical being, mostly. And this little physical body becomes animated with pure intention in alignment with your higher ethics. Okay? Ethics are an action that enhances your survival and or the survival of family or friends. Ethics is an action that enhances the survival in a way that is in alignment. So notice what is important to you. And the more aligned you are with higher levels of ethics, the more you begin to affect matter. So let's talk a little bit about the P. You can also ground your home and your space. If you want to take the class, please do take it. I'll go deeper into that in the class. But protection is essentially working with your energetic body. Now, in this bubble is 13 plus dimensional layers of your body and 13 minus dimensional levels of your body. Okay, remember that we are in a scale of positive and negative charge in our body, so we hold all of these states of creation potentially in the body. So every single sphere that makes up your energetic body is essentially one, and you are learning how to read and communicate with each one of these. Okay, so we are choosing every moment what we allow into our space before it enters, or before you judge, react, or apply meaning to what is being directed at you. Everything that you choose not to enter and affect your space is bouncing off your bubble. That's what you're going to use as an imaginary tool. So you're going to create your bubble made out of something impenetrable, grounding down to the center of the earth. And you're also going to create symbols. Okay, how do we use the symbol practice? Imagine your space, see yourself grounded, and imagine a blank screen in your head. Think of a person, place, or situation you're about to encounter. Freeze that situation and imagine on the screen appears the correct symbols, colors to own your space and enhance the interaction. The first thing you get is always your intuition. Take a picture of it and put it inside of your bubble, intending that it goes 360 degrees around you. Notice how you feel. then imagine letting that situation come to linger and observe how the situation unfolds. So imagine that it's like a movie that you're pausing, you're watching what happens, and then you press play again and you let it show you what is happening. It is better to produce a symbol before entering into any new situation so that you can ground and protect a space as well. The benefits of protection. This is what real protection is. Setting your intention, using your intuition every moment of your day in order to connect with what is your intention with the people that you're about to engage with. Right? We're kind of like these fluid jellyfish that we just go into a place and we just allow it to move us with the waves of the situations that are happening. There is no grounding, there is no connection to yourself, there is no self-awareness. So these practices are to practice your self-awareness and to create with intention. The benefits of protection is that it enhances any type of situation from bad to good. Why? Because you know that you are in alignment with your core ethics and values. It helps you see or understand other points of view without being an emotional sponge. So if you can, in your visualization before you enter into, let's say, your family's house for the holidays, and you begin to play out the scenarios of things that might be happening, you might think you're just making it up or imagining it, but you are tuning into potential timelines that have already been agreed on energetically, karmically, in repetition. Remember, destiny, unconscious states of repetition, okay? So we have that already existing in the field because it's encoded in our DNA, it's encoded in the family members' DNA. We already have very deeply programmed ways of interacting. And so, you know, without your conscious awareness, we might be coming into those environments expecting chaos and fights and disagreements or judgments. And then that's exactly what we're going to get because we have already fallen into a disconnect from our true creative power. So this also gives you the ability to choose what energy or information you want to experience and what you don't want to experience. Yes, you can choose. Okay. So no longer are we falling in a state of unconscious, experiences, but we are actually choosing what we want to experience. This is very important for us. So please use this tool in a way to assist you in your experiences and consciously co-creating. And that means that you have to train your intuition, by the way. Okay, ground protect. So let's talk about alignment. What is alignment? Alignment is working with your chakra bodies. Your chakra bodies are the most important filters of perception. And when we go into meditation state, we are in reading state, which is where we close the first three chakras and open the top three. We are training the body into a Merkaba state. We have to train the body in Merkaba state because, we're so disconnected from our bodies that we are unaware of what's running the show. A lot of us are subconsciously in survival, and we are not embodying this state of co-creation. In order to maintain balance, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to, in the alignment, we bring ourselves into balance. Okay, so that means all chakras in your body are in a straight line, slightly bigger at the top, because we want our intuition and our heart and our third eye and our communication in the filter of balance and harmony of the yin and yang, or feminine and masculine, to kind of guide us in our applying of our ethics in our everyday life. Okay, so this is what we want to do. And finally, co-creation is the ability to use your crown chakra in order to create, in order to manifest and create. Okay, so your seventh chakra is your higher self. It is where you create your reality, pulling from the Akashic records. And the eighth chakra, it's your relationship with Source, with the Creator, and what you are here to experience as a creator. It's also your open gateway to Source. So when these are dormant, of course, we are not able to connect to that infinite potential. So always keep these awake. Okay. All right, guys, let's get into the meditation. And I'm so, and also I'm going to jump into some questions. Thank you so much. Let's see, we have a question from Brian. Brian, you have a question? Go ahead.
Oh, no, you asked the question earlier and you said raise your hand, so I just did.
Oh,
Sorry.
no problem. Thank you. All right, so let me come into the chat here for the questions. Rebecca says, hi, Geraldine, love. What is the difference between radically accepting the self and mean behavior versus someone who is psychotic? Thank you. Um, accepting the self. Well, I'm not sure there's a connection there between those two, actually, because people become psychotic or disconnected from, they compartmentalize. So in order to become psychotic, we are completely compartmentalizing many parts of ourselves, which we become severely severed and separate. We experience severe disassociation, which allow us to act in ways that are completely disconnected from our core values or our understanding of where we sit along the lines of ethical behavior. Okay, so right, wrong, whether we cause suffering to others or to ourselves, completely disconnected from that. And also completely disconnected from the emotional side effects that it causes ourselves internally as well. We are desensitized from that essentially when we become psychotic. Okay, and um, so in the context of your question, which is in regards to self-acceptance, um, a person that radically self-accepts themselves is essentially deeply connected with themselves, their light and their dark, right? Their deepest shadows, lust, willing to murder, feelings of anger, feelings of rage, feelings of wanting to annihilate something. We are aware of those parts of ourselves. We are connected to it deeply. We understand why we and what triggers those kinds of emotions in us. And we integrate that as a part of ourselves in order to understand both sides of that. So that's a deeply integrated person, which is a result of radical self acceptance. Radical self acceptance doesn't mean to just accept whatever it is without understanding and integrating it. It means having, and this takes a lot of courage to be able to see your shadows of yourself, because it's very easy for people to judge external things outside. And normally, what we're judging is exactly what we have inside of ourselves that we haven't addressed yet, things that we have compartmentalized ourselves. So, to be able to take a look at all the things that we've kind of hidden, we've been ashamed of, things that we've judged severely, that we don't want to admit about ourselves, see truths about ourselves, these are the things that we need to look at, observe, and acknowledge what needs to be addressed, because underneath each one of those severe acts of need, of desperate survival, need, fear, and suffering, fear, which causes suffering, is actually a child that has been left with needs that are unmet. And that inner child must be met, must be seen, acknowledged, and those needs must be addressed. They must be satiated. They must be fulfilled. Um, this is how we learn the other side of the spectrum. Okay. So you learn deeply these deep negative emotions of yourself. You also learn positive emotions of yourself, and you understand how to alchemize them. Maria says, how do we know when we are in 0 point on day-to-day basis? So, it's an interesting question, because to know something, really, the 0 point is not something to be known. The 0 point is something to be. Okay. And when we come with it with our logical mind, it's not something that we're just going to identify. In order to embody the 0 point, we have to be at peace with ourselves deeply. So, having taken time in your day to sit with yourself, to acknowledge your emotions, any unresolved emotions from the day before, and addressing those, integrating the parts of yourself that were triggered throughout the day, the previous day, will allow you to have a strong foundation as you begin your next day of awareness. This given that you were present in your body throughout your whole day, that you were, grounded throughout your whole day. So really the only point you're going to know what is happening to yourself and be able to address yourself on the go is if you are present throughout the day. So always constantly remembering yourself, being aware of what you're feeling, asking yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Okay, so what's being triggered in me, whatever is happening, and what do you need in that moment? What's being needed in that moment? What's crying out for your attention? And then addressing those parts of you that are being needed. Okay, so learning to meet those needs is an entire process of self-knowledge. Okay, so if you learn how to meet the need of, let's say, didn't get enough attention. Okay, well, what does it need? I need to communicate with myself. I need to pay attention to what I feel. I need to pay attention to what my body's asking for. Maybe my body wants water and a good meal, and I'm just powering through my day without even paying attention. Okay, maybe I need more rest, and I'm prioritizing other people's needs or prioritizing their fear of the retaliation of not being there in order to meet the need over, what is needed in that moment. So these kinds of little choices, we begin to integrate into the body and really begin to understand ourselves, to create healthy boundaries energetically with ourselves and communicate. So the 0 point is a state of mindful awareness. It's an embodied awareness. It's open communication with your body. It's an awareness of yourself. And it's a meeting of your needs constantly in the present moment. And so remember, in the present doesn't mean that you're in the past or in the future. It means that you're completely in the now, embodied, okay? That non-judgmental observer. To be able to see all these things, you have to remove judgment. Because as soon as you judge whatever you recognize from yourself or you observe, that's it, your exercise is over. And you fall into a state of repetition rather than centripetal movement of this conduit state of life force that you move through you, okay? So there's many definitions for the 0 point. I mean, I can explain it to you in many different ways. Bioelectrically, you become the most conduit. So essentially, you become a self-regenerating system of truth in your body. You bring life force into the body. You're in harmony. Your organs are in harmony. Mind-body connection is in harmony, and you are harmonious with the actions. You are in integrity with your actions, your ethics, your thoughts, your emotions. They are all aligned. Okay, so that is really a state of the 0 point. Kristen K, is this similar to Abraham's Esther Hicks law of attraction teachings? I'm not really terribly familiar with what they teach exactly, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that. I'm so sorry. What is the next best thing to do if I'm not meditating to align with a divine partner and grow family? Okay, that's the next thing to do if I'm not meditating to align with a divine partner and grow family. Well, we definitely have to meditate, and meditation is it really should be seen kind of like taking a shower every day. Okay, it's just part of psychological well-being, just how you feed yourself healthy food. Meditation, your brain needs to eat healthy as well. Okay, so meditation, just being completely mindful, and remember, it's not only about sitting with yourself for an hour, it's also about maintaining mindful presence throughout your day. That's really meditation. So you absolutely want to embody that mindfulness, because otherwise what happens is that we fall into repetitive patterns of attraction, of resonance, of karmic experiences with people, places, and things that we don't want. So when you're looking for a partner, especially, you want to be very aware of that, because otherwise we're going to fall into very karmic relationships that cause a lot of suffering and pain, and again, make you wake up. Okay, so the thing about being human is that it's about ascension, right? This entire universe is about ascension. So again, you cannot avoid ascension. Ascension is encoded in your life, your children, your relationships, your relationship with yourself, and what you're doing in your life as a purpose. You cannot avoid it. So you can follow the matrix, and you can get distracted by the human ways and structures of society that we built for ourselves, but none of those really are in alignment with the true purpose of humanity. So when you wake up consciousness and you begin to realize, okay, are these things really in harmony with the greater laws of the universe? Now you begin to notice, and you'll notice that life following those other rules like matrix programming, matrix lifestyle, matrix purpose is always going to be a lot more difficult. It's always going to be very suffering, trigger a lot of suffering and helplessness for us. When we start to align with the laws of nature, things begin to move more fluidly because you're moving in with laws of creation, okay? And you're more in harmony, and you're not in denial with your organic self, and your potential. So what you are attracting now is in harmony with you, your partner. And then, if you seed a family in this world, you begin to grow a family that is in that conscious state as well. Okay, so work with your shadows. Okay, what are your shadows? Take a look at your past relationships. What are the patterns that you keep repeating? Take a look at your ancestral lineage patterns in relationships and with love and families. What has been the pattern in the families of your ancestral lineage? Were they successful? Were they loving families? Were they truthful families that yet honor truth in their family? And take a look at those patterns and where are you in that spectrum, okay? And that will tell you exactly where your focus needs to be in finding a partner that is truly aligned with what is in alignment with what you want for yourself, okay? All right, let's come up here. Laura Light, I live in nature every day on the beach and river and bush, and take my son camping and sleep in the car in special nature spots. Light fairies and play. We have a big fire pit at home, trees and birds. That's great, Laura. Thank you for sharing that. Try to put your questions in capital letters for me so I can see them. Brian, thank you so much for that super chat. Deep gratitude for that. Shahala Noor Aldeen, what are the health conditions from the solar flares? Who are the people that are more affected? Do solar flares affect or activate the DNA? Yeah, so I talked about this in my presentation about the sun movement and how it affects DNA, but essentially the sun is connected to the heart, and essentially the sun that manages the plasma of this solar system, okay, the DNA of the solar system, it is responsible for coding the genetic membrane of this solar system. Okay, we are merely cells of the solar system, of that membrane. So we are deeply connected to the information that is being run by all the movement of these planetary bodies. Okay, so the sun being one of them and the moon being one of them, all the planets, we are a fractal of the solar system. Our physical body is a fractal of the solar system. So a lot of side effects of solar movements, when they are very powerful, are affecting blood. They're affecting life force and how we hold energy in the body. They're affecting the depletion of water in the body and sustaining and hydration. And because that's your bioconductivity in your body, and they can affect that. They can affect how you hold and store nutrients in your body, okay? And it can also affect blood flow and circulation inside the body, okay? Which is why a lot of people have also been experiencing heart situations like heart attacks or, things like this, or strokes. It has everything to do with the flow of the plasma in your body. So it's important to pay attention to how you are holding and nourishing the amount of water that you're drinking in order to create irrigation in that system, and also the conductivity, of course, of life force. The heavier the emotions that you block inside your physical body, the stronger these solar flares are going to affect your body, because it's a very potent energy that is directly connected to the clearing of life force. The reason why there are solar flares, it's to clear really deep, heavy programming in the collective that we've had for a long time. And it's necessary to have that kind of purification language in order to move into a higher octave, which is where we're going. We're moving into a higher octave. Every time that the multiverse, well, I should start in the solar system. Every time the solar system moves into a higher octave, we have to clear out, we have to flush out all of the limiting frequencies that are existing in our body, mind, and in the collective. So you are responsible for the activation of your DNA. Sorry, my camera went out. You are responsible for the activation of the DNA by becoming aware of these aspects of yourself that have not come into expansion. When we talk about solar flares, the more we are in 0 point, the more we are in a centripetal spin, in a fast moving centripetal spin, right? So when you're centripetal, you're moving at a high vibration. You're very fast. Your vortex is moving very fast. That allows these powerful waves of frequency to move through your body more gently. Okay, that's also why we transcend astrological influence, we transcend cosmic influence. You can transcend all of these influences by lightening up the movement and pathways of life force through your meridian system. Okay, because your entire meridian system is connected to the movement of these planetary systems as well. So the more that we release heavy, heavy emotions out of the body, open up space, expand our light, grow gray matter, you become more of a conduit. When these solar flares are going to be also becoming stronger, it's important for you to be more of a conduit, because when you are not a conduit, your matter is too frail. The crystallization in your body has become very heavy, stagnant, and it's not letting that conductivity move. Okay, you become more conductive when you have gray matter in your brain, down your spine, to allow this movement, and drinking lots of water, all of these things to allow your body to come into this state of creation. Okay. Teresa, oh my gosh, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. Love you so much, and happy birthday, Teresa. Say happy birthday to Teresa. It was Teresa's birthday. And yeah, we love you, Teresa. Thank you so much. All right, my love. So let's get into the meditation, and then we got to get going. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. We have Brian's question here. I do struggle with a few memories. I'm not someone that has had any desire to live in blame or act as if I have had a hard life or play victim. But I was raised by a narcissist and was constantly having to deal with negativity and constant insults. Yes, Brian, that is a truth that a lot of us have dealt with, my love. And so for this, it's really important to practice reparenting. Okay. And so in reparenting, and this is a lot of the reason why karmically we have this kind of narcissistic trait in our family lineages. We have to learn how to balance the feminine and masculine energies in our bodies, in our mind, and in our lineage, because there has been a tremendous trauma that took those energies out of balance in our lineage for many generations. Okay, and so when that happens, we end up with severe traumas like these. Okay, so we need to reparent ourselves, and this goes for everyone. The parent that you have in this planet is not your real parent. Please understand, they are a human organism of consciousness that is also flowing through evolution. And so although we are biologically attached to this being, which is it's a very tough experience for the human to have to experience separation. The truth is that we have become separate from the source. So the source is our mother and our father. The parent is just the gateway of separation to experience separation in this physical realm. That being said, though the two parents that brought us to life are essentially a representation of the feminine and masculine energies and how they've been held in our ancestral lineage, and how they also need to heal in our ancestral lineage. So to reparent yourself, take a look at the embodiment of the father. Okay, what did you need from him? Make sure that you make a very detailed list and begin to understand the imbalances that he held as this masculine embodiment. And the same thing with the mother, in order to begin to understand, because what you'll notice is that we have repeated a lot of those emotional programs, limitations, pains, and sufferings in ourselves. So addressing these will help integrate our own feelings and reprogram the belief systems of the insults that were programmed into us, insecurities, doubts, the way that we see ourselves, to begin to see the truth. And for those of you that are struggling with narcissistic partnerships, relationships, parents, family members, it's a very powerful invitation to come in to your highest self-love, highest self-love, because narcissists are a product of profound shame, deep internal shame. This is how you become a narcissist, is that you are deeply, deeply ashamed of yourself and who you are, and your existence. And usually it's a snowball effect that comes down the generations. So you, Brian, were incarnated in this bloodline, and congratulations from being here and being interested in this information to help you transcend from these the abuses that you've experienced. Essentially, the invitation is that you are the one that ends the patterns of narcissistic behavior in your bloodline. And your job, your invitation in this lifetime, what does it look like to not embody narcissistic behavior? In other words, what does it look like to not embody victim role, shame, guilt, manipulation, these roundabout ways of getting love, which is what we all deserve and we are innately. So to allow you to embody deep, deep love for yourself is essentially the key to alchemize this narcissistic effect. Okay, so let's get into the meditation, guys. I want you to allow yourself to come into a state of presence. Ground yourself down to the center of the earth. Come into your stillness. Go ahead and ground yourself down to the center of the earth. Go ahead and visualize your bubble around your body. Come into as much stillness as possible. We're going to set the intention that everything in this practice is in alignment with our highest expression, with our highest truth. You're going to fill your space with golden light all around you. Go ahead and visualize your bubble around you, closing every hole or tear or opening. I want you to visualize the bubble around you completely surrounding you in one piece. And you are exactly at the center of that. As you visualize your bubble around you, go ahead and clear your 13 bodies. We're going to visualize the first layer of the body cleared, second cleared, third cleared, fourth cleared, 5, fifth cleared, sixth cleared, seventh cleared, eighth cleared, ninth cleared, 10th cleared, 11th cleared, 12th cleared, 13 cleared. Go ahead and shrink the first chakra down to the size of a dime, the second down to the size of a dime, the third down to the size of a dime. Go ahead and expand your heart, expand your throat, expand your third eye, expand your crown, expand your eighth. You're going to bring green life force from the center of the earth up your body, up your feet, into your thighs, into your hips, into the solar plexus, creating a vortex of energy. Breathing deeply. From source, go ahead and pull down a powerful wave of gold cosmic energy down from source, down your spine, combining with the green earth energy. Go ahead and take 10% of that back down to the center of the earth. You're going to take 80% of that up your spine from the crown of your head, coating the outside of your bubble. You're going to take that final 10%, bring it inside of the body, absorbing into the pores, the flesh, the muscles, the bones, down to the cellular level. Breathing deeply. Go ahead and see yourself over the past 24 hours. Notice the strongest, lowest emotion that you had in the past 24 hours. Notice when you fell asleep in the past 24 hours. And by sleep, I mean forget yourself or become unconscious. What triggered you to go unconscious? See if you can notice that. Notice if you spend a lot of your day trying to avoid something. Perhaps avoid feeling, avoid doing, avoid seeing, avoid being. Go ahead and see yourself. Just notice, what is it that you needed? What kind of unmet needs did you have in the past 24 hours? Go to notice, what is it that you need in order to meet this need? Take a look at all of the fractals of yourself that have been unmet, like this part of you. How many times have you repeated the same program, the same belief system that led you to not meet this need? Do we not meet the need because we don't know how, or because we are afraid, or because we think we can't, we don't believe in ourselves, we don't trust ourselves? Why do we not meet this need? What's happening? I just want you to notice if it goes down your ancestral lineage. Is it something that you're repeating? Take a look at yourself, and as you begin to observe what it is that you needed, go back to the very first time in your life that you're repeating this unmet need. How far back does this unmet need go? As you begin to see all the fractals of yourself throughout your life, throughout your ancestors' life, repeating this program, noticing what needs to be met and what we are not meeting and why. Take a look and see, once you identify what do you need in order to meet this need once and for all. What do you need from your environment, and what do you need from yourself? And we are not asking for material things, we're not asking for physical things, we're asking for internal things. So, internally, what is needed from ourselves to meet the need? And from others, what is internally needed from them in order for us to meet the need? Look and see as you begin to observe everything that you need. And I want you to begin, once you've identified what the main root need is, to begin to infuse all of the versions of yourself throughout your life that have needed this need met and has not been met. I want you to fill these parts of you with exactly what's needed. And you're going to just play out each one of these scenes in your mind's eye. And just notice when you bring them back to life after you've given yourself what you need, what changes around you. Do others change? Do you change? Take a look and see. What happens when you meet the need? How does your experience change? So begin to see all these parts of you integrating. I want you to see all of these parts of you merging into one self. Are you in alignment with your core values, with your ethics? Are you in integrity with yourself? What do you need in order to be in integrity with yourself? Take a look at that. You can review yourself over the past week, over the past month, to take a look at how we have not perhaps been in integrity with ourselves. Go ahead and see all the aspects of yourself fully coming in integrity with themselves. And I want you to feel what that feels like in your body. I want you to recognize it emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically. What does it feel like to be in integrity with yourself? As you get acquainted with these feelings and emotions, you begin to understand deeply how to embody this. If this state were a color, what color would it be? A state of being in integrity with yourself. Go ahead and fill yourself with that color. So allow yourself to integrate this fractal into your body. Notice what's different with this part of you. What has changed? We're going to work on the root chakra. Go ahead and open the root chakra back up. I want you to clear all the fear-based survival, lack of safety, insecurity. that you might be holding in the root chakra, around embodying integrity to yourself. Go up to the sacral, go ahead and release from the sacral all the fear-based programs around integrity out of your body. Go up into your solar, go ahead and release all disempowered programs about integrity to yourself. So all the programs about disempowerment that you might have around personal integrity. Go up into your heart, go ahead and clear out all the programs that you have around inability to love yourself, love others with integrity to yourself. Programs around unworthiness and your personal integrity. Go up into your throat, go ahead and clear all the programs about expressing your truth, the limitation of your expression, the fear of your truth, and how it affects your integrity. Clear it out. Go into your third eye, take a look at your intuition, your relationship with your intuition and your personal integrity. Clear out all the blockages in your third eye that don't allow you to see and employ your intuition to maintain personal integrity. You're going to go up into your crown. Go ahead and activate your crown. Eliminate all the actions, fear-based actions that are out of integrity with your higher self. Everything we've done to betray our spirit, our soul, to betray our true self, the innate innocence of this internal child. Any betrayal towards our creations. Go up into your 8th chakra. Go ahead and activate the 8th. I want you to shine your 7th and your 8th on top of all the karmic contracts that no longer serve you. Go ahead and visualize all these contracts that are your karmic contracts. All the lessons you've chosen to experience in this life and to learn through pain and suffering. Go ahead and eliminate them. And once that room is completely cleared, we're going to fill it in with our creative color, setting the intention that everything that we create is in alignment with our highest expression now, with our free will, with our awareness, with our integrity of the higher laws of the universe. Go ahead and connect up into the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, all the way to the 24th chakra. Go ahead and turn on your chakras to the 24th. And above you is a powerful white light of source. Go ahead and bring that white light down into your body. Go ahead and expand that white light around your body. Remove any last blockages in your space that you want to clear out. You're going to anchor down to the center of the earth into the 24 chakras underneath your body, integrating into the DNA of the planet, into our ancestral lineage, everything that we learned and healed today. Go ahead and open your eyes, and as you open your eyes and come back into the room, welcome back. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. It was such an honor to share this with you. It was a privilege to be here with you. If you guys have any questions, please put it in the chat. And if you guys want to work deeper with me, you can schedule a DNA reprogramming or a hypnotherapy before the end of the year, because this year is going to be a very beautiful, powerful change for all of us. So the deeper work that you're doing at this time, the more support you will feel during these transitions. Okay? All right, my loves. Have an incredible, incredible week. I love you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.